All right, Doc. Is that it? Yeah.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. And I'm with my friends, Willie Walls and the great Swame Odell Blocker. Willie Walls, the man who just won 10K last week. And congratulations. Very proud of you.
I appreciate it, Doc. You know, myself and the Swami are getting close. We're getting real close. We're that far away. You know, the last time we was doing that, 100K came to us. So that's what I say we're close, So we're finding our way to, and we got some edges this week that we want to tell everybody about, but we'll talk about it.
You feeling it too, Swami? You feeling like you're on the precipice of making some big cash?
Doc, I say, I feel it. I feel it. Hey, Doc, I'm feeling like a woo!
All right, he's feeling like a winner. There you go. All right, let's kick it off. Let's get to a game that I really like. I really like it, and I don't know if the public's going to be on it, but I'm all over it. I think that Cowboy-Viking game has so many pieces in it, so many layers. People are going to be on Justin Fields, who we'll talk about. They're going to be on Josh Allen, who we'll talk about. But Dak and Cousins are sliding under the radar. If it's possible for Lamb and Jefferson to slide under the radar, they're doing it. Dalvin Cook under the radar. Willie, do you like this game? Are you playing this game? And how are you playing this game?
Yeah, I'm playing it probably one way. I like what I don't trust the quarterbacks as much, even though I like the pieces. Because Schultz is a man of interest now. He really is. The way Dak is using him. But I love Mr. Cook going against these boys. And listen, I understand they sack it. See, this is the thing that people know. We know Dallas averaged 5.6, sacks and turnovers per game, combined. And Minnesota's next with 4.9. Okay, but this team right here, what people don't look under this hood, the last 2 weeks, they've been skull drugged by the running game. They've allowed over 200 yards initially the past 2 weeks. Minnesota is just starting to get this little ball rolling, in their running game. And the thing about it is, Dallas is 27th in the league, and they allow 1.64 yards before contact. Now, if you're going to do this to Mr. Cook, as you saw in that Buffalo game, will take it to the house. And I'm just telling you, this, and when you got a guy like Mr. Jefferson, that man with the one-headed catch, 4th and 18, grabbing it won't happen. When you got him on that side, guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to come up and try to blitz that box, because if you do, Mr. Diggs is real nosy. And if he gets too nosy, that's going to be a deep one to the house. That's why I love Cook this game, and I love Mr. Lamb. Give me some lamb chops. What does Minnesota run? Zone. Who does the 32% uses in the zone? Mr. Lamb. He's getting that thing going. Give me some Lamb. Give me some Cook. And you can give me a little Schultz. But I do like this game. I'm going to have me some stuff in this little, what we call the late night hammer. And we'll talk about some other things that we like earlier. Go ahead, Mr. Swami. Take it away.
All right, Swami, talk to me here. I like what Willie's talking about. I like Cook. I like Lamb. But I almost feel like I like too many pieces, and I may have to break it up into parts here because there's so many guys I like.
Doc, let me give a moment of silence for that foolishness that my good buddy just said. No way. I'm not even really sure what he's looking at. We've had these conversations before. I'm respectfully disagreeing on Mr. Cook, the Cowboys, other than Mr. Aaron Jones, unless you're counting Fields. Is that what you're talking about? Montgomery didn't do much. Jay Williams didn't do much. M. Sanders didn't do much. 800 didn't do much. Who are you talking about has ran against this team? Right, so you're talking about the quarterback on unplanned runs. I warned you guys about doing this before.
They have given up 400 yards the last 2 weeks.
Justin Fields is 200 of them yards. Doc Fields is 200 of them yards. We said this before. They are 11th against the running back position. They are not.
Who did Dallas play the last 2 weeks?
Montgomery, nothing. Chicago, nothing. You're talking about Fields, Mr. Fields. You know, 60-yard play.
Did you watch the Green Bay game?
Yes, sir. Aaron Jones.
Did you watch that Green Bay game?
Yes, sir. Aaron Jones had a nice game. Yes, sir.
So, I mean, all I could tell you is one of my very close friends is a Cowboy fan. And about 5 or 6 weeks ago, he says to me, Doc, he goes, the Cowboys' run defense is terrible. And you know what? It has been weak. It is the weakest part of that defense.
You got to tell me the RB1 who's done something. That's all. I give you Aaron Jones. I'll wait for the next one.
So who do you want to play in this game? Tell me who you're playing in this game, if anybody.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me do it. Let me see if I can do it. CD Lamb. Lamb. Mr. Jefferson has earned his respect. I like him. Don't love him this week. I like CeeDee Lamb. Both defenses are okay. They're beatable. They're okay. But both quarterbacks are milk, and they are very scary. That's the part with Walls I agree with. They are milk. They're turnover prone. They find ways to not keep drives going. But this thing that Dak is doing with Lamb, almost 30 fantasy points per game the last couple of games. Very interested in Mr. Lamb, but I don't know about much of anything else in this game.
All right. What about the Bills and Browns now that it's going to a dome in Detroit, getting away from 27 feet of snow, whatever's going on up there in Buffalo? Sorry, people up there in Buffalo. We're very popular in Buffalo. I know that's wrong. But I'm telling you here, Allen in play? Is Diggs in play? Is Nick Chubb in play? Is Gabe Davis in play? I mean, what are we doing here, Willie? I think there's some pieces here. They may be expensive, but they are talented.
I'm gonna stay away from that Chubb one. I respect Mr. Chubbs, okay, but I'm gonna stay away from Mr. Chubbs. I'm not playing Chubbs, but on the Buffalo side, yes. Mr. Singletary's in play. Mr. Singletary's in play. Mr. Diggs is definitely in play. Mr. Diggs. And Gabe is one of those boom and bust GPP players that you play. But, man, I'm going to tell you something, because I got a lot of these guys in fantasy. I'm so happy they moved from those 27 inches of snow and they going to Detroit on the turf. Yes, please. Mr. Allen, his finger didn't look too bad last week, and he going against the milkman of Cleveland. Yeah, he is definitely in play. Now, on Cleveland side, that's kind of hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like it. Listen, I know Minnesota did, but I still don't trust it with me. I don't like too much on the Cleveland side. I'll let y'all have that.
Stormy, like anybody? Because there's one guy I like a lot in this game.
Yes, and I'm surprised. I'm not really sure. I get it. Buffalo's got some people coming back. At least 2 or 3 people on that side, the other side of the ball, might be back this week. So the defense, they're probably going to look a little better. But Mr. Nick Chubbs, you're still not showing them proper respect, Willie. This is every week I got to say this. And I think Amari Cooper. Wait a minute. There he is. All right. I think he's going to show up this week. Called him up. I talked to him. I said, hey, Mr. Cooper, it's your turn. You need to show up. If this team's going to do something, it has to do it now. You need to show up. And Mr. Diggs and Mr. Singletary, I think you're spot on with that. But I just really think that Cooper's in a good spot this week.
I think Chubb is in a good spot this week. You see what Dalvin Cook did last week? You see what Michael Carter did a couple of weeks ago?
I mentioned Mr. Chubb.
I know, but I think people are overlooking Nick Chubb here for some reason.
We know he is for sure, that guy right
there. Oh, because I like a Mr. Barkley.
Of course you do. You're supposed to like Barkley, but you're not Chubb.
Yes, sir.
No. I've been listen, me and Mr. Chubb, we just don't get along, because when I play that bastard, I know what he does to me. He gives me a Chubb. He pulls his pants down and poops all over my lineup. So I got a.
All right. I got a. Nobody wants to hear this.
Pause.
We'll shut Willie out for a second. All right, we'll bring it back. All right. Let's talk.
What the hell was that, Doc?
Justin Fields against Atlanta. High implied total. Fields has been out of his mind the last couple of weeks. I mean, he is running better than any running back in the NFL. Plus, he throws the ball just a little bit. But Atlanta is favored in this game. Two teams who want to run the ball. When you run the ball, the clock keeps running. Does this game shoot out, Swame? Or do you think this game stays under wraps and maybe is a little less than people think?
Here's the good thing about this game, Doc. I don't know if it needs to necessarily have a high total to have fantasy goodness. When you got Fields, until he come back to earth, and I don't think he is this week, until he returns back to our orbit, you play him. Walls was spot on, and he's been riding them that entire time. You play him, you don't think about it. He's got the matchups that go along with what they're doing over there. You play him, you don't even overthink it. You just keep going with him. Why Atlanta's favorite? Because they're home and they actually play some decent ball. And I told you guys that a few weeks ago. They play some decent ball and they're able to score some points. Mariota's in a good spot. Actually, Mr. Pitts, who hasn't been blowing things away, but he's that little engine that he's trying to do something. Watch out for him. Watch out for Drake. I think Patterson or somebody. It's just a very interesting game. Definitely some fantasy goodness here. And Fields is without question. It's not even a thought. You figure out the next position.
What about you, Willie? What do you think? You're the guy who loves Fields.
Let me explain to you how much I love Mr. Fields, okay? And see, I'm glad his prices rise up, because I want everybody, because I hear all this little negativity about Fields, but I'm gonna tell you what I see on film, because I'm watching film. I'm watching the film. See, back in the day, listen, ladies and gentlemen, for the younger crowd, there used to be a guy named Mike Vick. Okay, he used to be a nightmare of a quarterback. Trust me, he was a bad man. But what Mike did was he used to have a guy named Ward Dunn that was his running back. So when he did the little play action, the teams are kind of scared, because when you respect the quarterback, guess what? The lanes open up. And there's a man who I love this week, who probably I'm locking in, is Mr. Montgomery. You saw what Mr. Foreman did. What Mr. Foreman did with a cheat quarterback, cheats. Carolina, what they did. And what they're going to do is they're going to put him in a bind. He's going to do the play action. He's going to put the ball here. Now, sometimes they're not going to bite. Montgomery's going to take a big chunk. Sometimes, like I said, we're going to need to shut it down. He's going to do a play action, and he's going to go in the flat to commit. Or what he going to do? He's going to go around that end, because Atlanta's been giving up the run, and guess what's going to happen? The thing about Mr. Fields that I like is, if you give him just a little inch, and he's on turf.
So are you playing Fields and Montgomery together, or
Yes, I will have Fields and Montgomery together, because I think Fields is going to be a lock for me this week. He has been cheeks, but let me tell you, this is the matchup, and no Herbert. So he's going to get it all. He's going to be greedy. He's going to be just eating up. So I like him a lot, and I like Mr. Fields together. And then I think on the other side, you can either play Pitts. I do think that Pitts is due. I mean, this guy cannot throw the ball. Pitts is they're wasting Pitts. And I think Drake London, to me, is very interesting this week. So that's what I like to come back with.
You know who you guys are both missing? Mr. Patterson, Cordero Patterson. Whenever you forget him, he pops up for 2 touchdowns.
No, I mentioned Patterson. I think Mr. Mooney is the one we didn't talk about, who I think could be interesting in this game. He's got a good matchup. Do you want to double stack it,
Swame? Do you want to go Fields Montgomery with Mooney, or Fields Montgomery with Komet?
I'm not mad if you double stacked it either way. Both quarterbacks run. I think both quarterbacks going to go over 20 fantasy points. But right now, Mr. Fields just got the seal. And like I said, he's on a different orbit right now. He's probably going to get you 40 again this week.
And you just watch the film, and he just jumps off on the film. I mean, and the thing that I like about it is the past 4 games, they have got 35 design runs for him. That's why things have changed. 35 design runs, and then you see what happened when he scrambles. Like you saw that Detroit one when he ran for 60-something yards. I mean, listen, you saw what he did when he ran in, when he ducked the guy and he ran in. Then you saw what he did when he took a little pop, got a little slither, and then he outran that defensive back for Detroit. Got 4.3 speed.
2 DBs.
Here's a question for you: Can you play Mariota on a team? Let's say you play multiple entries, right? Can you run with Mariota and bring it back with Montgomery?
You absolutely could.
Yeah.
Mariota's a play.
Yeah, you put him with Pitts and or Patterson. Yes, sir.
And then maybe that's when you want to get that little stack from Minnesota when you go a Jefferson, Lamb stack. You follow what I'm saying? If you run Mariota, so you could do something like that, So those are little things that you can do on this slate. But man, listen, Mariota's definitely a play. The Bears defense is cheeks. They are cheeks.
Both defenses.
Yeah.
The Rams
Let me give you a game here
Atlanta.
that people may be overlooking. Maybe. Do you think people are overlooking the Eagles versus the Colts? The Eagles were not good last week. Nobody wants any part. See, Willie's got that face. That's that face that says, I want no part of this team. But Jalen Hurts, if there's any one person on this slate who could be better than Fields, could be Jalen Hurts, Willie.
I kind of respect the Colts defense just a little tiny bit. You know what I mean?
At home.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing with this game. I don't even see it. I don't see nobody in this game, to be honest with you. Mr. Taylor, thank you for your contribution last week, but I ain't playing you this week.
But if Doc, I had the shotgun to my chest, and you said I had to pick somebody, maybe Pittman after what we saw McLaurin was able to do last week. Stahl is going to come in for Goddard. You're getting him at bargain basement prices, $2,500. He could get 6 or 7 targets. I don't know if AJ Brown is healthy. They said he is, and they said it's not that serious, but something happened last week. I don't know. So Stahl could maybe get a few more targets if Brown is slowed down this week by that injury on that. I'm thinking Pittman. Obviously, it seemed like it's like Ryan likes Campbell a little bit. If you were kind of reaching there, I wouldn't be mad at that. But Doc, I'm not. I see what you're saying. I respect Mr. Jalen Hurts, but I don't know if I'm paying up for him with Mr. Fields in a smash spot.
Now, unless I'm wrong, guys, I don't see any other game where I'm like blowing the stack up here. I see pieces. Maybe it's a Saquon, maybe it's a McLaurin, maybe it's guys here and there. But is there another game that I'm missing besides the ones we covered that could blow up?
Yeah, I mean, people are going to talk about the Bengals game, but when Mr. Watts is back, that defense is a little different, Now, if I do like anybody on that side of the game, I love the tight end, Frymouth for Pittsburgh. I love him this week. I think he's in a great spot. But I am definitely not going back to Mr. Mixon. After his 19 touchdown game.
Yeah, he's a fade. But I think to your point, Doc, you might. There's a game theory where Philly and the Eagles and Ryan, especially if the Commanders were able to move the ball, we could see how a scenario where the Colts will be able to move the ball. Their offense is probably right there with the Commanders with Matt Ryan in there. So there's a scenario, but I don't know if I really like it. I don't feel it this week.
All right. How about one more, Swame? What about a little Saquon, Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe pieces from the Giant Lion game? Can you vibe that?
Not pieces. Peace. I'm not interested in the other side. You can give me Saquon, of course. I would even be interested in Daniel Jones at his price and what he's been doing last couple of weeks. He's been looking good. They seem to be giving it up. In the event that, he does some play action or something, or he scrambles for, 20, 30 yards, something like that. I can see where he could get there at his price. but I don't love all of his skill positions. I kind of like him more than I do his skill position. So I'm kind of on the fence with that one. And I'm not sure. That Giants defense is respectable. And I don't know about Detroit on the road.
All right, Willie, last week you nailed it. I said, give me a guy. Give me some players. You nailed Jonathan Taylor. Who's this week's Jonathan Taylor type of guy for you?
You don't like him, but I'm telling you, Mr. Cook. Mr. Cook, well, what I've seen in Dallas, and it's not visible to your naked eye next week, but when you see the game, I'm telling you, Mr. Cook is a man of interest this week. And I'm not a Cook guy, okay? Trust me when I tell you that. But I just think that Dallas, they got some holes in their armor that people are starting to, they're starting to take flight. And also Minnesota has now, they proved their mettle to me against Buffalo on the road. I'm just saying, playing at home because people are not respecting them. So that's the thing that people don't understand. When you're not respecting them, that's when those people got a little thing. And they playing at home. I think Mr. Cook is definitely a man of interest this week. And I'm going to be on him. I'm going to be on Mr. Cook. And if I'm wrong, hey, look, I don't accept it. But I'm telling you, I'm looking at the – but the reason I like it is because people do not like to pick on Dallas. But goddamn, let me tell you something. If you let the Green Bay Packers score 28 points, you saw that Green Bay Packers yesterday against Tennessee. You let them score 28 points, they got some holes in that armor. I'm sorry. They got some holes in that armor.
Doc,
Tell me who's this week's Jonathan Taylor.
Doc, first my rebuttal. Taylor was going up against a Raiders defense that had yielded something like a total of maybe 90 fantasy points over the previous 3 games, ranked 22nd against the run. That's not the case with Cook, right? You got the 1 game sample size where Jones was able to have a decent fantasy game. I'm coming on the record. I respect Mr. Cook. I am against Mr. Cook. Let me tell you who's the guy since you asked. His name is Jacobs. He loves playing Denver. He's going to get 30 touches this week. You look out.
And I know you was going to go back to that same old, you're going to go to the ambulance, you're going to chase what happened before. That Denver defense has tightened up a little bit. I think that's going to be that game right there. I might be looking at a Dolchich. I am not playing.
That's the guy who I'm playing this week everywhere. He cheeks of cheek last week.
But see, this is what people didn't see. He had 2 balls that Russell Wilson missed him, that he was open.
Because people look at and see how they did against Derrick Henry, which they play well. But they didn't play well against Tennessee. But Tennessee was able to almost move the ball, and they didn't get much resistance, even though Henry didn't have a great game. Same thing this week. Henry didn't have huge numbers. Yes, he got in the end zone. Yes, he threw one. He had huge numbers, but Green Bay didn't offer much resistance at all. But guess what? Mr. Etienne, 28 fantasy points. Eckler, 24 fantasy points. I don't see why Mr. Josh Jacobs, who had 37, won't be able to have a similar performance if he gets 30 touches.
I see the model showing it. I see them showing it, but I just think that they're on the road down Denver. And it's a little difference when you go on that mile high because your breath gets really short. And you should know that because I think you've been out there, but you've been out the mile high. It takes it's a little adjustment. That's why at home they always play a little bit better. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a play, but I just think that I just like other people. I'm just not gonna be on. I'm definitely Montgomery is my guy this week. I'm locking him in. He's a lock button on both sides.
I haven't mentioned 2 guys. 1, Brian Robinson, and 2, Terry McLaurin. How does Brian Robinson fail this week against the Texans?
I mentioned Mr. Terry, Doc. Lastly, Willie, last 2 times in Mile High, he's averaging almost 25, 32 fantasy points, and then 15 fantasy points. But going back to Mr. Robinson, I like Mr. Robinson a lot. I think he got 24 carries last week. If he gets 24 carries this week, this guy could be a slate breaker. At that price, they almost giving him away. I think he come with a bag of chips and a side soda. If you can get Brian Rye, he might be one of my favorite picks. I know, Willie. You got Mr. Gibson who eats into that a little bit, but I think there's enough room for both of them.
No. Listen, you can run on them. Listen, and really, You should have mentioned the Redskins because they're going against Houston, and they ran the ball, but you know how things go. They just came off. They just beat an undefeated team. This is the Ass Manders, okay? What they'll do is they'll lay a stinking egg in Houston. They just come beat. Don't be surprised. Don't be shocked if you see the Ass Manders if they lay an egg. But they are in a great spot. I will agree.
I'm with you there, Willie. Like the Robinson thing feels too slam dunkish to me, and it never is that easy in the NFL. It's never easy. So,
all right, can I give you one more?
Yeah, of course.
What about Ramondre Stevenson?
Look, nobody's talked about him, and I love him.
Okay.
How about a little mini stack with Stevenson and Garrett Wilson?
I'm gonna tell you, I got a cause for pause because I respect that Jets defense. That Jets defense ain't no, and when he went against him, it's not like he had. You look at the game last week. I mean, he didn't have a smash spot. Now you got Harris back again, healthy. You understand what I'm saying? And I've been the biggest Stevenson guy that's been here, but I'm not playing him this week. It's not the week. That Jets defense is nothing. I mean, I think this is going to be a deep, but I do respect Garrett Wilson because if you look at him in the two games that he had one against Buffalo and New England, 6 for 115 and 8 for 92.
Well, okay. Well, Doc, he didn't like him, but somebody from Denver might finally do something. I wouldn't bet more than a cup of coffee, but they in a good spot. If they, I
think Doc hit it. I think listen, Doak he let down a lot of people, but Russell missed him twice.
Do you want to press that button on Dulcic's name after last week? You can't do it. Nobody wants to do it. That's why he's going to hit for a touchdown this week.
No, I'm going back to him. I mean, he disappointed me last week, but I like him this week, and I just think, and I might play a Jacob. I know he's done this, but for some reason, I'm just going with different combinations, and I just think that Dallas game is going to be interesting.
Is Elway back this week?
Oh my God! All right, Swame.
Is John back? No.
Give me
no. Don't want no doggone Dulcich, the Assage, or his quarterback. They stink.
Give me the stack that I need, Swame. What is the one stack I need in my life?
This week, Doc, I don't even want to say it. I feel like y'all mentioned that Minnesota and that Cowboys game, and I don't want to say it, but I feel like a stack of that game. My heart's telling me Buffalo, Cleveland, Doc. But it's something that Willie said that I really like, which is that Jefferson and Lamb. I feel like them jokers could put on a show, and I would want to have a part of that for my stack. And it just depends on which side you like. I would probably lean more Dak because I just think I'm not sure if it's going to be my cousin that comes to the cookout. Not against
that pass rush, no, because they got a 38.9 pressure rate. No,
I didn't want to say it. But
if I was going to take a quarterback, it would be Dak. Cousins.
That's what I said. I said Dak and Lamb, and you could come back with Jefferson, and I think that's a decent stack. For some reason, Doc, I feel better about that one. I know they're going into the dome. I get that I probably should be sticking with. But I don't like what happened last week. Doc, I'm gonna say, give me CeeDee Lamb, give me Dak, and if you wanted to finish the full stack, I'm not mad at Schultz. I think I saw Gallup kind of showing up. That would be interesting, and then coming back with Jefferson.
All right, Willie, is your stack the same game?
No. I'm going back to my man, who people are not respecting this week, Mr. Fields. Give me Mr. Fields doing the play action thing, giving it to Mr. Montgomery, and they're going to be yo. And then on the other side, let me say this. He's been stinking. Mariota, don't miss him. Give me Pitts coming back. That's what I'm going with.
That's the perfect name.
Coming back.
Mary Oder.
Yeah, and he been stinking. But I can easily say, but also you could do I think you could do Komet, Fields, and Montgomery, and you could bring it back with London. You know what I mean? So I think you could do something like that. But the reason I'm going with this is Katrin, because he's been ass cheeks. Mr. Pitts, that quarterback stinks. But Chicago's defense stinks. So I think this could be the time where Pitts could get a touchdown or two and that will break the slate.
All right. Swami says what pick this week?
I think I already kind of tipped my hand, Doc. I think Swami says Michael Gallup this week.
Ooh. Interesting. Balls to the walls call from Willie Walls.
Back to who gave us 2 points last week. Dolchich of Denver. He's going back again. He's going back again. Of Denver. Watch it. He's going back again. I think he's going to get a touchdown with at least 80 yards in this game and about 6 or 7 catches. That's what I think, Mr. Doe. Yeah, I know you don't like him, but I'm going right back to him because I saw stuff on film. He missed 2 long balls to Mr. Doge that if he would have had that, his price would have been jacked up. So
I'm going to give you a guy that you're not thinking about because nobody likes to think about this guy. Adam Thielen. Always plays better at home. Does well in zone defenses. We saw a little KJ Osborne last week. We saw a lot of Jefferson. Thielen always slides under the radar and always has a game where he just pops. This may be that pop game.
I'm not mad at that. And one more thing, Doc, before we sign off. If Judy is out, I think Hinton could be interesting. And I think I might even like Hinton a little bit more than Doge.
But Hinton's not 100%, so he's a game time decision, though.
But the tight end is.
Then I'll go with Dolchich. Then I'll take Dolchich and Gabbana.
All right. Time now to put away the insurance card, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. For Doc, Willie, and the Swami, be well and
take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.
Man, I think you